Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Mishal Saeed, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and really the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're absolutely thrilled to have Dr. Dale Laing-Hall, the CEO and founder of Dale Reports, joining us. Dr. Hall is a chartered psychologist and thought leader in organizational psychology, leading a consultancy that empowers organizations with data-driven insights to enhance workplace well-being and performance. With over 20 years of experience, she's transforming how businesses approach employee engagement and culture. So let's dive in. Dr. Laing-Hall, welcome to Founders Future.
Yay! Hello. Thank you so much.
Absolute honor
Happy to be here.
having you on the show. And I want to kick things off for the listeners. Take us back to the beginning. What specific problem or gap within organizational psychology or workplace well-being landscape, perhaps around poor employee engagement or lack of data-driven HR solutions, actually inspired you to start Dell Reports?
I'm going to give you the cliff notes because what made me decide to start Dale Reports was I witnessed, unfortunately, a nursing assistant abusing a patient while I was working as an HR manager in a nursing home. And it harm that caused, it opened up my eyes through, and I saw the world and the workplace through a completely different lens. The patient was mistreated, but that ripple effect that caused it cascade into, it was devastating, right? A few things took place that kind of changed how I saw the workplace. And that was the organization lost an employee, the department lost a teammate, right? The peers lost someone that they depended on as it relates to the shifts, right? Covering the shift. That employee lost her job. Worse, of course, she lost her license.
Right.
And it didn't stop there. The industry as a whole lost a professional with a license. The household that she lived in lost an income. That patient ended up going to the hospital, not coming back. The community gained another unemployed member. And so it just, a whole social impact, a whole thing was changed how I saw it. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it did not help no one. So nobody won. So I needed to go back to school, got my doctorate in business administration, and I had to figure out where did we go wrong because this employee started out as a top performer. She was
Right.
who I sent everybody to be trained by her. And now 5 years later, here she is at the crux of burnout and
Mhm.
stress, all with everything that was going on in the workplace. And at the end of it, I had to figure out what was going on. So I went and I did investigation and figure out that she was in the process of losing her child as a result of a divorce. And she had just lost her mother. And that didn't happen from one day to the other. That took a series of events and nobody, I
Reached
wouldn't
out.
say they didn't care,
Yeah.
but nobody stopped to ask, hey, are you okay?
Yeah. Wow. Thanks for sharing, by the way. And I can only feel being in your position, witnessing that, but that being the catalyst to the movement you've created, absolutely applaud you for that, Dr. Dale. Like, seriously, let's dive into really like now the present state, right? For the listeners tuning in, walk us through really your core offer now with Dale Reports. I know there's psychometric assessments, you do workplace culture audits, there's a bit of that leadership coaching. Primarily, what is that core offer and how do you structure it for some of the clients you work with, such as even corporations or SMEs?
So right now, as it stands, we help healthcare leaders, nonprofit executives, HR professionals, first-time manager. They have the technical skills, but don't have the people skills. Leaders that they're just trying to figure out, maybe they're coming up for water and they're just trying to figure out, now I have people in my department that just keeps leaving. What is going on? Leaders who are struggling with low staff retention, unmotivated team, turnover, right? That's going up, low morale, poor communication.
Mm.
So we help them to move from that to feeling a lot more empowered, more motivated, more resilient, more fully engaged with their team. And it starts with my tool where I did my research on, which was emotional intelligence. And that's the core of, and we start with that. The services include emotional intelligence leadership development, HR training and support, HR consulting. So, the policies, and you're trying to figure out, should you get rid of that handbook and start over? Or executive coaching, working one-on-one with leaders, and also public speaking as well. And so recently I just developed new emotional intelligence leadership development 8-week course where it's a step-by-step program that's online. It's strategic, it's results focused, and it welcomes the human side of people, which a lot of these training platforms don't have. And it allows you to follow that step-by-step guidance so that people take back control of their personal and professional lives. And Dale Report starts from leading people, not from the outside in, but from the inside out, right? Because if you are a leader, you have to develop yourself first before how you're going to develop your team, because people are coming to you to make decisions, right? To help, that communication and how we're going to collaborate. So you need to be able to show up for yourself. And how does that look like? It looks with you taking care of you. And that's where self-awareness comes in with emotional intelligence, right? That emotional maturity, showing up as your best self, making that lasting impact with everyone that's around you, not only in the workplace, but taking it back home, being a better parent to your kids, not snapping at them because you had a bad day. That happens quite a bit. And we all, in one way, shape, or form, have been in workplaces where leaders just they got results for the company. They're good with the sales side of things, but they don't have good bedside manners. They're not, the civility is out the door. And how they talk to people, and slamming doors and profanity and just the complete professionalism, not knowing how detrimental those things are to people that receive it.
Yeah, 100%. There's this sense level of emotional neglect and lack of self-awareness, right? And from a leadership perspective, especially as these are the command leaders, the authority figures within organizations, it creates a domino effect, right? And
Yeah.
oftentimes it can be the make or break for a company and organization that is looking to grow and scale, right? Now, you mentioned a couple things. You have that 8-week leadership development course. It looks like that's the way you're thinking about productizing, scaling your offer in such a way to where you can then maybe focus on, of course, expansion and being a CEO of your own business.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about also on the acquisition side of things, client acquisition. How are you generating leads right now? What are some of those channels, whether it is paid ads, LinkedIn, social media, referrals? What's been the most effective for landing some of the clients that you work with right now?
I love that. I love that question. I'm glad you asked that question. For entrepreneurs getting started, you have the experience of whatever your expertise in, being in the industry for years and years, but being able to get ahead and growing your business, that starts, from my experience, it's getting out there and being in person. I'm a people person. And someone, they always say, they hear me before they can see me. Because when I laugh, I have a loud laugh, and a loud laughter, and that allows me to be human. I think a lot of times in the world of work and the workplace and the world itself, we get so in our in getting the job done and check marks, right? And doing the to-do list, that we forget that at the before all of that, before
Yeah.
that title, before that position, before that office, before, you're human first. Which is why I love emotional intelligence, because it forces you to see yourself, that self-awareness, that self-regulation side of yourself first. And acquiring customers, for me, it has been with those speaking engagements, getting out there and talking to individuals. I'm on a board of HR ABC where we interact and do monthly events with HR professionals. So I'm able to communicate with them and let them see. And so I'm not just talk somebody they see online. It's somebody they know, and they can start getting that interaction going and that conversation going, and that's what it's been thus far. Speaking engagements and engaging with customers face to face. I'm also a part of the small business administration as well. So being in person with those kinds of is how it's been so far. And it has been working.
Cool. So really, really leveraging a lot of networking, your own in-person presence as well to build a lot of those connections, really be face to face. And oftentimes we talk a lot about it on the podcast. I would love to get your thoughts on sort of the ways you're thinking about building predictability when it comes to lead gen. Are you looking at anything on the paid ad side? What are you most focused on with that outreach to build more of that consistency and reliability with lead flow? Talk to us about your experience there. What are you putting in place within your own business so that you can achieve that?
Right now, I am putting in place, we started with a CRM. So we have a CRM kind of starting to, for the past, actually this entire year, tracking where is how long are they listening to the videos, how long they're spending online with our material. And I think that when it comes to the sales side and the contact, is closing them as quickly as possible in terms of making sure that they're comfortable. So I go in person, I talk to the C-suite and get that conversation going, however it's by either DM, referral, or whatever, however it came to me, or even from those in-person events, right? And then once you're there and you have that conversation going, then what do you need? What do they need? And I had this one client that I went to an HR Florida conference last year, August, and
Mm,
not until December I
mm,
was able to close that gap or close that lead, right? And it wasn't from not only sharing my services and what they needed, but I offered, hey, I can come in and just assist you with this, whatever that problem was that they shared,
mhm.
right? And just that alone was able to allow that one client to come back and say, hey, yes, you did mention that you do this. Can you do a workshop for my executives? Have them come in and just spend the entire day and do this and do that. And that was able to open an avenue for them to eventually send them off to my 8-week course that I just started online as well.
Very cool. In terms of really building that engine with lead gen, we always talk about having that being in place, having that automated, and in a way to where you're not in all the rooms necessarily having those conversations. You could focus on scaling. How are you focused on that right now? How are you exploring ways to build consistency with your lead gen? Have you done anything on the paid ads side? Are you looking at doing paid ads to build more of that consistency? Would love to get your thoughts on that. Paint that picture for us as we're tuning in.
I did paid ads for 3 months, did not yield what we thought it would have. So we started there, and then we started as well seeing how we can I had two individuals kind of for a short period of time
Mhm.
simply start tackling like sales navigator on LinkedIn and talking to folks that way. And that has been helping out right now. And we just started that just about 2 or 3 months ago now. So I think that's so far, that's what we started.
Very cool. So looking at different ways to like really start that outreach process and build a lot more of that engine to where
Consistently, yeah.
exactly so it is a little bit more consistent. Now, talk to us a little bit about the sales process as well. Is it just yourself having those sales conversations right now, or do you have a sales team in place also engaged in like really speaking to some of the C-suites executives that you just discussed? How does that look like? How is all of that kind of structured right now within Dale Reports?
There's three of us,
Mhm.
and most of that communication happens with myself.
Okay.
They start the conversation and then get them set up, and that goes on my calendar, and I'm the one having those conversations
Mm.
right now at this time. What else? Did you ask me something else? Did I miss
Yeah.
something?
Do you enjoy the sales calls? I wanted to ask.
I didn't before, but I did a whole mastermind training on this for the past year now. getting comfortable and understanding that it's not really selling, it's serving. And it's saying, hey, I have this, and this is what I'm offering. Do you need this? Right. And just letting it rest there. Right.
Yeah.
And you can't solve, and I learned this, that you're not here to solve everybody's problem, right? You're here to solve this niche of people, which is
Yeah.
who you are speaking to. And who you're speaking to is who you're going to be, who's going to hear that call. And if it's not for them, then that's okay. And it's
Right.
supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be that way. So if you have entrepreneurs out there thinking, nobody's listening, I just want to, you got to niche down, be
Yeah.
specific and specialize. And
Mhm.
those are the folks that you want to go straight to and direct to. I do actually love having the conversation. Now, it took me a while to get my head around that, but
Yeah.
now I do. Yeah.
Very cool. And with the other two team members that you have in place, are they more on the business development side of things, or are they also engaged in those like main consultations? How is that structured in terms of having that sales team in place and really like their role and really what their tasks look like?
Their role is more like admin. It's an
Mhm.
admin. And then there is content creating and then video editing.
Mhm.
Those are the tasks. And more of the strategic and getting ahead is more left to me. That frees me up some time to do more of that. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, we talk a lot about it on the podcast, so I'd love to get your thoughts, especially as like a woman entrepreneur, a female boss running her own business. Given that you are still that main person, having the sales calls, closing, how are you juggling everything? How are you
I'm
focusing
not.
on the work?
Michelle, how organized. I have to stay organized. And it's funny because I spoke about this with my mentor the other day, and
Mm,
I asked him that same question. How is he staying organized? So initially I had to tally all the things that I'm doing. You
right,
audit what you're doing every day. That's what I would say to those entrepreneurs out there, that tally everything that you're doing, because you can't do it all at the same
right.
time. So I've learned to schedule myself on
Mm,
specific things,
mm,
right? Every Monday, this is what I do.
mm,
And having a healthy, no matter what you're doing in that bracket of the task for the week or the day, having a very healthy morning start routine and
mhm.
a night routine sets you up for that middle. So I've learned that's a big one for me. And one of my emotional intelligence leadership secret is checking in with yourself before you jump out of bed.
Yeah, 100%.
Checking in with yourself, and before you check on everybody else, the kids and the husband and the your mom and everybody, check
Yeah.
in on you and see how you're doing, because if you're not okay,
Mm,
they're not going to be okay, because they
yeah,
feed off
yeah,
of what you do and how you react to whatever is going on. So
yeah.
checking in, asking, and so that's one of my stuff that I make sure that I check in, I speak, and I do my gratitude. And so having a really healthy, my meditation and my yoga, like having that really nice healthy start. So that's how I stay organized. Then I can start tackling at 11 o'clock. I have my first meeting,
Mm,
or I show up to this whatever engagement that I'm a speaking platform going to be on, or whoever it is that I'm going to be reaching out to and following up by
yeah.
email or whatever. So I have like email time,
Mm.
follow up time, and I can't be checking. One of the things I used to do every day, all the time, was checking my email almost every time.
Yeah.
So you can't do that right now. So you check it once or twice for the, you check it once or twice in the morning, once or twice in the afternoon, and that's it, right? You can't be
Yeah.
checking emails all day, because that eats up your time. It really does.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And so I was about to say, I would love to understand a little bit more about how your mind is thinking moving forward, especially with like scaling, because you have the course going, you're focused on lead gen as well. What are you putting in place more on the sales side? Maybe even finding like a closer, maybe even finding setters to help you so that you can focus on some of those more higher level things. Like, what kind of is that next step for you as like you're looking at scaling as a business owner?
Brand awareness.
Mm,
So that's definitely a key part of us to continue to grow and scale more of those speaking engagements, attending more of those conferences, being a sponsor to expos and stuff. I have two or three lined up in the next couple of months, sharing my personal story, no matter where, no matter how, anybody that asks, being able to share and let people see that
mm,
yeah, you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business, but before that, I am a human being, and this is how this can possibly help you or somebody that you know, and being a little bit more intentional with
Mm.
sharing your personal story, because some people try to veer away, right, from knowing that, from the fact that they have your story is your ticket, and that allows people to see that the business side and the professional side of things is one thing, but that story is what carries it.
Yeah,
Your story is
yeah.
what carries it.
Getting really the messaging out there to your audience, bringing a lot more of that awareness. From what it sounds like, your growth's been incredible. If there was like a bottleneck that stood out, what would it be? Is it attracting like the right types of leads, clients to work with, improving conversions, managing multiple client engagements, maybe on the sales side? What are you most focused on solving right now to keep all this momentum going?
I think that it would be the brand awareness and making sure that, because again, I think it's moving away, because I'm
Yeah,
like at the epics of moving away from speaking to everyone.
yeah.
And now I'm getting into these are the folks that I'm speaking to. So more of the folks that I'm actually speaking to, getting the word out to them, right? That it's not that we don't know our value. We do. The challenge is that enough of the right people need to know that we exist. And
Mm,
I work with this organization up in Sarasota, Safe Children Coalition, and they were far away. They saw me speaking, and they reached out, and then other organizations like that. So being in more platforms to get the consistent message
mm.
across for that consistent lead. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Really focusing in on finding repeatability when it comes to the right types of like client profile that you want to work with, speak with at the end of the day, and then getting the messaging out there. One last question as we wrap up. What is like the best piece of advice that you would give to some of the listeners tuning in, founders, entrepreneurs that are looking to get into change management, looking to start their own venture? What would you say to them on one parting note?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. It's a good question. Okay, so I would say my advice to them would be don't stop.
Mm,
Don't stop doing what you're doing.
yeah.
That it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And understand and know that of all the knowledge you will attain in your lifetime, knowing yourself is that your
Mm,
highest achievement.
yeah.
And no matter what you do for your business, if you are not growing and
Mm,
that moving towards that Kaizen path,
yeah.
continual growth, then your business, it's going nowhere. So you got
Yeah.
to continue to develop yourself.
Wow, I love that. And it goes back full circle to what you were saying earlier. And that's really your bread and butter is like really building a lot of that emotional intelligence, a lot of that awareness, right? So that leaders are at their best, they feel like they're heard and they're able to operate not just efficiently, but also in a manner that is healthy to create like really good workplaces.
100%.
Honestly, on that note, Dr. Dale Laing-Hall, the woman herself, thank you so much for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And you shared some incredible insights and your journey we're going to keep up with. So hopefully we can have you back in 6 months to a year and find out a little bit more about your runway going into early 2026.
Absolutely.
Love it. To our listeners, if you enjoyed the episode, which I know many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. You can also check out what Dr. Dale is doing on her LinkedIn profile. We'll link her profile in the summary below. And you can also reach out to her via dalereports.com. We'll link the website. And if you are interested in finding some more resources and insights, you can also visit us over at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses scale through world-class marketing and sales systems and trained appointment setters. So until then, everyone, keep climbing. We'll see you all on the next one.